Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining our new portal release webinar. My name is Becca McCarthy, and I'm the Director of Marketing here at Logicbroker. I'm joined today by my colleagues, Ed Kobloth, our Director of Product Management, and Jeff Keltz, our Software Implementation Manager. Before we get started, I wanted to just go over a few housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded. We will be following up today's webinar with an email, and that will include the recording. So if you want to share it with a colleague, friend, whomever, you will have that post-webinar. And I think that about does it. We will be doing a question and answer portion of the webinar today as well. So please hold all questions to the end. You can enter them in the chat box, and then we will dedicate some time at the end of the webinar today to answer as many questions as we can. And then just for our agenda, we're going to just go over the survey results. I'm sure many of you are familiar. About a month ago, we sent out a portal survey to kind of guide where we're going with this webinar. So we're excited to share the results of those with you. We'll cover some of the new releases as well as key features. We're going to go into a quick demo and really preview what's coming, and of course we'll wrap up with a question and answer portion. All right, so Jeff, if you want to, we'll go back one slide, and I'll let Jeff take it away.
Thanks, Rebecca. Yep, so as mentioned, everybody, hopefully you were familiar with the, excuse me, you're familiar with the survey that we sent out. So here's some highlights of the results of that survey. So we found that 54% of Logicbroker users are logging into the portal every single day. So that's really important. That's really great news, because that means that people are really finding value in the product, and enough value that they're going in every day and they're making it part of their workflow. One thing we did find too was that 17.4% of users generated reports on the Logicbroker portal. So not only are people going in there every day, they're also going and making use of that data and trying to get the most of all the data through all their channels. And then we also found that, lastly, 85% of users would recommend Logicbroker to a friend or colleague. So that is such a beautiful thing. So we really thank you guys for wanting to recommend that to others that you're close with, maybe others that also are familiar with the portal. So if all these results are so great, you might be asking, why are we creating a new portal? Why are we changing the portal? Usually changes to the portal seem drastic, or changes to software are always drastic and make it harder to get around and be used to what you're doing. But Logicbroker, we strive to be ahead of the curve here, and we try to always be growing and progressing. So we've really changed some of the portal, but as you'll see, a lot of it is very similar, but we wanted to make sure that the changes were focused on speed. So you'll see the portal is a lot faster, and also usability. It's much more usable now. So we can get into it. I'm going to pass it over to Ed Kobloth so he can give you a rundown of some of the new features we added.
Hi everyone, I'm Ed Kobloth, Director of Product. So today I'm going to go through a demo with everyone, just some of the new features, some of the highlights. Here's a full list of what I plan on going through. So we're going to be going through like some of our refresh lists and real-time page updates, our new structure, our dashboards, and walkthroughs and all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, I think I could just hop right in. Okay. So this is our brand new portal. It's currently in beta right now. We're planning on releasing it at the end of the month. You'll see that it's actually very familiar. It should be very familiar to you, to the regular current portal. Just a couple things that you'll notice that are different. You'll see non-compliant orders, other non-compliant documents here. Nothing has changed all too much. This is replacing the failed documents button you previously seen?
Yeah, so one of the things that happened here was we had a failed orders button, failed orders tile rather. So what we've done is we've added this other non-compliant documents tile. Orders are only one part of what we do. So if an order fails, usually there's action that needs to be taken by whoever sent the order, but also we found that, there's a lot of other, obviously we have different types of documents. So we wanted to make people aware of other non-compliant documents because we did a lot of analytics on this page before we did our changes, and we found that people really were using that tile to drill down into what they were doing.
Yep. And you can see that you can now also see all your failed documents other than orders. You have your shipments, acknowledgments, invoices, returns, all that stuff. So just a quick tooltip to get to your information. In addition, as you can see, as I go back, you can see load times are drastically increased. We changed our architecture to a single page application. So what this allows us to do is to load all your information upon first logging in, and then as you navigate, we don't have to reload and refresh that data. Another big feature that we've implemented is, as you can see, is this little tooltip, this little widget here, Get Started. We implemented a customizable checklist that provides an automatic walkthrough or a product tour, so to speak, to help onboard and get you familiar with the portal. So to increase usability and to increase, onboarding times, we've added this list, and it's fully customizable, both if you're a retailer or a supplier. So if you're a retailer onboarding, 800, 1,000 suppliers, we can implement a specific onboarding checklist based on what your requirements are to integrate, and all the suppliers could follow it, and you could track all their information as they go through it. So just to give you an example of how this works, I finished the product tour for this user already. Now the second step would be, setting up products, setting up inventory. So I click it, you'll see a little tooltip pops up and tells you where to navigate through each step. It'll tell me to go to inventory feeds, go to the inventory page, and then it tells you to select partner, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through the entire walkthrough, but you get the idea. It'll help you on board, to help you get familiar with all the features and point out all the specific things that may be important to your integration.
Yeah, and as Ed mentioned, these are completely customizable. So for instance, let's say you're a retailer and you're onboarding, hundreds or, even 10 to hundreds, it doesn't matter, but let's say you're onboarding suppliers that you want to have in the portal. A lot of times you might have to spend time with them on a call individually and show them that. So this eliminates that need, because now we can actually send links that have this checklist that allow them to go through each different step, and it shows them the call outs. And again, this is customizable. So if this is something you think you might be interested in, would really help your vendor community, you can certainly reach out to us and we can get that set up for you.
Yep. And in addition to that, we do have all the information on the users, whether they're completing their checklist and all that stuff. So we could always create a report for you, so you could see where your users are getting stuck or during onboarding and all that kind of stuff. So pretty useful. Now on to the next feature. I'm going to show some of our real-time refresh list updates. So you head over to the order management screen. So all these statuses here will automatically update as your documents progress through their workflows. So there's going to be no need to refresh to see your status changes here. Let me click into an order. Here's a ready to ship. Just give you a quick little example. And as you can see, some of the views have changed a little bit, but nothing that should confuse you. It should be very familiar to the current portal. Let me do that. Whoops, I should switch sides. So just giving you a quick view of a status changing in real time. So I'm just going to go here, change a status on this order to new, and you should see that status update as it goes through the workflow. So the workflows are actually sending out EDI. Let's see, submitted and ready to ship. So as it goes through the workflow and sends the EDI out, you'll see it all change. So if something moves to failed, you could monitor it as well. And the same works for our messaging center. If you navigate to our messaging center, all the messages that come through your partners will also be update in real time.
As Ed said, this was we're using a new framework for our web portal. So now we're actually using React.js, which is a modern framework. A lot of new web apps are being built on that. So our development team really wanted to challenge themselves and see a way they could improve the portal. And that was one of the ways, basically, taking this entire new framework. But you'll see it's super, super helpful because as Ed just demonstrated, everything is happening in real time. There's literally no more need to refresh. I know sometimes I'll be sitting there mashing that Control R, but there's no need to do that anymore. What you see is actually what's there. And everything is in real time, as well as even these messages that Ed's about to show in the message center.
Yep, I'm just going to open up a new tab so I don't lose that. Yeah. Yep, so as the message comes through, you'll see it actually process. I'm not going to go through the messaging. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to move over to another feature, and it's on this order management page. We've added updated filtering. So we updated our filtering just to give you a better visibility to like what filters are actually set and adding and removing them easily. So let's just add like jet.com for the sender. And you could see like the filters are all added here. So no matter how many filters you add, you could see them all up on your filter bar. In addition, we've also added the clickable filter on the status. So if I only wanted to see ready to ship orders here, I could just click ready to ship and it will automatically add that filter as well. So it's a quick tooltip to get your information in a nice and easy view. Okay, so the next feature I'm going to go through is we've added a quick ability to cancel, ship, and invoice these orders as well. So if I select all these orders, you'll notice two new buttons that we've added. It's this fulfill, cancel, and invoice. So if I click fulfill, cancel, it will take all the selected orders and give you a quick view so you could add tracking and fulfillment information, or if you're canceling, you could cancel them as well. Note that this is only for one box. So if you're fulfilling dropship orders that typically ship in one box, this may help and expedite your process. But if you need more detail in multiple boxes to fulfill your items, our standard shipment screen would work for you, would be better for you. So yeah, as you can see,
so this was actually.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Sorry, Ed. Okay, I was going to say, yeah, this was actually a feature that somebody had requested on the survey. So somebody had literally said, I wish there was a faster way to either invoice or ship everything. So just so you guys know, not only do we do analytics to see what features we should add, what would be beneficial to our user base, but directly from that survey, we are getting recommendations from you guys as well as feature requests in general. We're actually taking that in and we're making sure that we can implement whatever is possible.
Yeah, and also on the creating invoice piece, you could also do it on shipment documents. So if I was to actually search for, shipment, I could actually select these and invoice the shipments as well. So I could invoice from the orders or the shipment documents. So it should make your life easier just in completing your orders and sending that information to your retailer. Okay, so next feature I want to show you is we've implemented an EDI viewer inside of our portal. We noticed that there's a lot of Mac users out there, and a tool like EDI Notepad or another EDI tool may not be useful or may not be available. So we decided to add an EDI viewer inside of our portal. So here's an example. This is the EDI that we sent out. It parses it, so if you have an EDI document that's streamed or something and you download it and it's hard to view, you could easily view it here. So if you want to check out a specific field and make sure your data is compliant, you could always go right here. Okay, so on to the next feature. So we have some view changes as well, specifically in our testing area. You'll see that we've tried to make things easier and more understandable from the user perspective. So our test cases have this new step process. So, the first step is creating an order, second step could be creating a shipment, or it could be creating an acknowledgement. So depending on, the retailer that you are connecting or testing with, we would have different steps, and we could also customize your information as well as instructions as well on this page. So, if you want to detail out like what you would like to do in the shipment, such as, hey, you need to ship 2 out of the 3 line items to pass this test case, you could add that kind of information. So this is fully customizable based on retailer and should provide an easier view for suppliers to complete their test cases.
Yeah, and if you are a retailer in our system, and it could be that you're just unfamiliar with test cases, but it's something we implemented in the last year that basically allows us to automate testing with vendors. And one thing we were finding was that vendors were a little bit confused at just the way it was laid out. So we made some changes to that just so that everything can be more modern, more fresh, but definitely much easier to use and much easier to understand. So the goal here was to make sure that everybody that was using the tests was well aware of where they were in the testing process. And certainly we're always welcoming your feedback if there's even more that we should improve here.
Yeah, and in addition to that, we're also planning on rolling out these test scenarios for all our retailers on our platform. Any big box retailer doing EDI or anything, so you could always create orders that are as close to production as possible at any time. So if you're implementing a new feature, you could create your orders and your documents and test them immediately in our stage environment. So on to the next feature. So this is, again, going on the same style change and trying to help users understand some of our features. And this is our advanced import. If you're familiar with our previous advanced import, it was, I'd admit, it is confusing. So we've simplified the process by adding this little wizard here. So you'll see that we have different questions that are asked on what type of document that you're importing, whether it's a custom format or not, and then you're just following the steps going on. Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. And now another new feature I'm going to move on to is the reporting. So what we did was we added custom reports for bar charts and pie charts, and added additional parameters such as document count, order count, quantity totals, and GMV value. So as you can see, this is just a default report, just to show you. So this is the default report that we would be rolling out to everybody. So just to give you an order distribution view and a GMV distribution view of all your trading partners. And you could actually create these charts. Say I wanted to create another bar chart and I wanted to see total quantity. So maybe someone's sending less orders, but is purchasing more per order. So you could get a better idea of that. We could change the interval. Let's do 180 days. Let's do document type and do order. Just hit it down there. And so it's super quick and easy to just create a report and a good view of your data. So you could see the quantities for all the orders throughout that time interval like that.
Yeah, and as Ed's showing here, the reports are really easy to generate, and that's something we wanted to make sure we improve on. Previously, this reporting page included these tiles, and a lot of people have been asking for more reporting. That's actually one of the highest requests we get. So we really wanted to make the reporting page a bit more robust. So we've added these charts, and as Ed said and showed, there's quite a number of parameters you can add there. You can customize your charts quite a bit. And so we think that's going to be really helpful for people to drill down into their data a bit more. Also, as there has been, you can also export configurations. So if you would like to share your reports with somebody else who uses the Logicbroker portal, you can actually export that configuration and send them that file, and then they can go ahead and import that, and that allows them to run your configuration. So these reports are actually shareable. So it's some pretty powerful features there.
Yep, and then there's your export configuration and import configuration. So it should be similar to what you have right now in the current portal as well. Okay, so just running through some reports. So it's very easy to create these. In addition, we also have a business intelligence platform for more detailed information, so specific information around your shipments, getting very granular on like ship to addresses, where it's going, where your shipments are located. So all the details that are inside our portal is available in a report server that is accessible. So if you need more details, you could always contact us as well. So last feature I wanted to show today is on our scorecard page. So we added some new values to our scorecard. We added total sales and the actual percent shipped and the target shipped percentages. You can download the report to give you a better view. So here is the scorecard. So previously you probably just saw our scores that we were providing, our calculated scores. Now we include, the average time to ship, the percent shipped, and percent canceled, and all, and order counts and sales totals as well. So you get more details in your reports for your trading partners as well now.
Yeah, this was another feature that stemmed from something we got by a request directly from a user. They, had kind of noticed actually a small gap in what we were offering on the web page versus what was in the report. So not only did we go and we filled that gap, but we decided there was room for other improvements too. So we tried to always improve the product.
Yep, and that's pretty much all the features in our new portal. I just wanted to also include that we are rolling out a new knowledge base as well to work with this portal. So just give you a quick view of our new knowledge base. So a little formatting changes will occur, and again, we're trying to go with the same theme and try to make everything easier for people onboarding and getting to the right information, and also getting more information on all the automation features we have available. So we're simplifying the whole structure. So we could provide the data easily and accessible, in an easily and accessible manner. Yeah. Anything else, guys?
If that's Jeff, did you have anything, other final words you wanted to share before we hop over to the question and answer section?
Yeah, I'll just say thank you for everybody that participated in the survey, and thank you for all the wonderful feature requests we get. We really do appreciate those, and we do appreciate getting to implement those and to see people really help our platform grow. So just thank you guys all, to anyone who's on the call.
Yeah, and again, with all the feature requests, we are also adding a community section in our knowledge base. So if there are any feature requests that do come up, you could always post it here and vote on them. This will help us determine, which ones are more important, what's the frequency behind what is being requested. So just a heads up to provide more information to us. And also we will track the release of those features as well. So if you're following a post and we do update it, you could get all those updates there. So it will help centralize all our updates to our customers. Okay, want to head over to the Q&A?
Thank you. All right, if you guys don't mind bearing with me for just a moment, I'm going to open up our little handy-dandy checkbox. Some questions. Looks like we have more comments. All right, it looks like our first question is, can I continue using the existing portal prior to the release?
Yes, so everything's accessible at beta-stageportal.logicbroker.com, and that's our stage environment. Our production environment is at beta-portal.logicbroker.com. So, and all your logins should be the same as well. There'd be no difference. So, yeah, that's it.
So it looks like we got a comment saying that a repository of short how-to videos would be great. Ed, I think you have a nice response for that one.
Yeah, so that's part of our rollout with the new knowledge base as well, is to provide these how-to videos, and also including them in our product tours. As I've shown before in those walkthroughs with the tooltips, we could add videos directly inside the portal for users to open and get more value right from the same spot. So rather than going to another place like the knowledge base, we just want to make information as accessible as possible and really educate our users. So that's going to be on the forefront of our future developments.
All right. When is the new portal coming?
So the new portal's planned to release at the end of the month, end of January. Within the next 2 weeks, you could use both portals, our current one and the beta version, and we're going to do a full cutover at the end of January. So everything's going to move over to the new portal. So no URL changes. Okay, so we have a third question.
Yep. When will you provide better support for printing, packing lists, and ShipStation? Looks like there's a little bit of an issue, a little snafu.
Okay. So yeah, we're currently working with ShipStation on providing a more embedded solution. It's still currently in the works, or solutioning out. So yeah, when our new knowledge base does go live as well, we will add that to our feature list, and you could follow it and keep track of all the updates that we provide.
All right. When submitting a PO acknowledgement, can a change be made at the same time, such as to the shipping address or price of item?
Okay. So yes, we can support that. That does take additional customization to change data like pricing or shipping address. Usually it's a more complex scenario because both parties need to be aware of the changes. Not all retailers receiving acknowledgments accept price changes and shipping address changes. And usually if they do, there's a whole nother acknowledgement for the acknowledgement for that information. So it is something that we're capable of, and if this is something that that is needed for a specific retailer, let support know, and they'll pass it over to our product team, and we could review it.
All right. Is there a multi-edit view for acknowledgement as well?
Yes. So there is. Oops, I don't have the mouse. I don't know if they still can see the screen.
Yes, we're still sharing the screen.
Okay.
Can't see our handy dandy question box though.
Okay. So yeah, so on that order screen, you can acknowledge your documents. It's more of just canceling the acknowledgement.
Ed and Rebecca, just so you guys are aware, the question box shows up as black, but it is in the middle of the screen, so it's somewhat blocking the feature you're trying to show here.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that, guys.
Way to hide it. But anyways, hopefully you guys could see here. I'm removing the box. You can create acknowledgements, but it's only for cancellations. Usually, if you'd like, we do offer automation features to automatically create acknowledgements off of the order. So if you are consistently accepting documents, we could just set up a workflow to auto acknowledge your orders.
All right. Are POs sortable by status?
Yes. So as I showed before, these are all your orders, purchase orders. So by selecting the status, you could sort them. And wait, I think you were asking that filter, sort. Oops, let me remove the filter. Sorry if I'm in the way. So we do not sort. The best approach to sorting would be to doing an advanced export in our system, and then sorting it in Excel.
Oh, here's a good question. Do we have to go through another stage test, and will this have any effects on the EDI information being transmitted?
So no, there's no necessary stage tests. In terms of the back-end information being sent to your trading partners, nothing has changed. The architecture is all the same. This is just a user interface, new user interface, and just new user features. Aside from that, all EDI and other information will remain the same.
I like this question. So I can use the new portal now, correct?
That is correct.
Cool. Looks like we have a few more minutes and just a couple more questions. So scroll through. All right. Will I have to create a new account? I think we kind of answered this one, but if you want to.
Yeah. So no need to create a new account. All your current accounts should be the same, or should work the same. We've sent out an email also with all the links to the beta portal and the beta stage, correct?
Yes.
So yeah, everyone should have the links to the new portals. And then when we move over, nothing's going to change. It'll be the same portal.logicbroker.com and stageportal.logicbroker.com once we move at the end of January.
And just for everyone who's joining us, when we send out our follow-up email post-webinar today, I will also include links to go to the new beta portal. That way, if you're really excited, just like we are, and you want to get in and start using the new portal, you can access that quickly and easily via this new email, just in case you missed out on the previous one. All right. When will we be able to load inventory the same way on the new portal?
Yes, that's a good question. So it should be exactly the same. You're going to notice some UI changes just in terms of like uploading files. You can drag and drop, but you'll see that all the feature set, the entire feature set is the same. So nothing will change. You'll find it very familiar.
Perfect. And when can I access the new knowledge base?
Yep. So that will be releasing at the same after we release out of beta. We'll be releasing the new knowledge base as well. So end of January.
All right. I think we covered all the questions. And everyone, thank you so much for bearing with our question box. I know it's not the most beautiful thing, so thank you for bearing with us. And also, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We're really excited about the new release, and we're so excited we were able to share this with you today. I know your time is extremely valuable, and on behalf of myself, Ed, and Jeff, and the whole Logicbroker team, we really appreciate you investing that time with us today. We'll be following up shortly with the webinar recording, as well as links to access the new portal. And if you have any other questions, you can reach out to your client delivery analyst or support, and we're always happy to help in any way we can. And again, thank you so much for your time today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a great week. Thanks again, guys. We'll talk to you soon.